Hi, wherever you're watching and listening to me, it's official Benin on Rebranding Africa Politics program. What is the essence of this program? Our focus is to make the political system of African countries a great one because politics is the main reason why African countries are not progressing. Education is the key to success, is the key to development. What is the educational system in your African countries? Is it stable? Why is it not stable? Is it because of political parties or political behaviors? Mine is not stable. And what is the essence? What is the effect of this? Does it have effect on students and the teachers or only for the benefit of politicians? This is what we are going to discuss with our lovely guest, Dr. Ya Queen. I really love this woman because she's so passionate about the progress in our world. She's so calm, humble, and beautiful. Yeah. So just prompt your neighbor and do what to share this program because we need African countries, a great state all over the world. We need progress. We need positive change. Thank you so much. Hi, the program begins. Let's get to Dr. Yaquin. Hi, doctor.
Hello, Benedicta. Good
I salute you,
afternoon.
doctor.
I do same.
Doctor, how is Ghana?
Hmm, Ghana is well as always.
How's the
The heat
Supreme Court issue?
though, mm, mm, is
No comment about
ongoing.
that.
Mm-mm.
Well, doctor, you are in the teaching field, precisely the university level. You are a Ghanaian by birth. How do you see the educational system in Ghana?
At
Is it
what level?
helping?
Tertiary, primary, secondary, all
All
across.
yeah.
Okay. No, well, it's helping to create an enabling environment
Mm,
for the acquisition of knowledge, training, in order to for Ghana to have the relevant human resource that we do need.
okay. Since that is the answer you've given to us, which is also relevant, doctor, is the system stable?
The system, it depends on what you mean by stability.
I mean stability in the duration because, for instance, I had my secondary school in Ghana. I went for 4 years. I was the second batch. I was part of the second batch who had their secondary school. Oh, yeah,
The SSS,
SSS,
senior
which
secondary
is now
school.
SHS
Now
by
it's not
the political
SHS.
party. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we went for 4 year course.
Mm-hmm.
Right after us, the next batch went for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
other
some
batch,
other batches went for
yeah,
four
for
years.
different system.
Mm-hmm.
And my batch was the last batch for a particular political party.
Mm-hmm.
So after election, when this political party didn't win, the next party which came on the throne changed the
Mm-hmm.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the system wasn't all that stable. I don't know
Stable.
up to now. Just recently, I've heard about double track or single track. That is another system by a political party.
Yes, under the free SHS
Yes.
policy.
So with this realistic proof, does it mean that Ghana doesn't have a stable educational system?
I don't know if the word to use is stable, but I do recognize that our educational system has gone through different processes and different changes dependent on the goals of a particular political administration. And sometimes too, there are influences, right? Such as the International Monetary Fund and World Bank influences, particularly towards sub-Sahara Africa. So you do see this when we went for into the structural adjustment program. So they push more for the government taking its hands off in terms of funding, that there should be cost sharing and there should be privatization and the like. So there have been lots of changes or discontinuities, as the topic says, dependent on the goal of the political administration, dependent on what is happening globally, and dependent on external influences. Um, so, as you rightly pointed out, we've seen this starting from the late 1980s, when the common entrance level was scrapped. It was scrapped, and then and then that of the middle school leaving certificate, because then the common entrance dealt with people who left primary school into the secondary school, and then the middle school also leaving certificate. You could work with it, or you could go into high school and then get to the tertiary. So you have it now. We move from senior secondary school to senior high. What do you call it? To senior high school. Now we are still at the senior high school, and the duration has also changed. And of course the duration has its own benefits and challenges, because some believe that a 4-year program was too long, because you see the essence of, if I do recall, of the PNDC, the Provisional National Defense Council change, which was also continued under the National Democratic Congress political administration, was to reduce the number of years that we spent in school. That people spend too many years in school. You finish school and you're already too grown. You now have to get a job, and if you want to marry, you marry and give birth and the like. I think these are the things that went into consider whether it should be 4 years or whether it should be 3 years. But aside the reduction of age, the other challenge that I do see is the number of years that students spend in school. Is it enough for them to be able to finish the curriculum, for the pedagogy that is used, and for them to be trained right, in order to be able to even start their own businesses, in order for them to get jobs? But the peculiarity in the case of Ghana, which may equally be so in other sub-Saharan African countries, is it is tough to get a good job with just as a high school certificate. And it is tough when you see this toughness spill over to graduate students also. So that now the quest for everyone is to get a tertiary, a first degree at the least, to create enough access and enablement to function in the work sector. So the discontinuities have had its challenging effects on parents, because parents want the best for their children. It has had its effect, so that the parents who can afford it now will send their children to private secondary schools, or will send their children to other private secondary schools that are engaged in the ordinary level education and then the advanced level education. The difficult thing with that is that it's expensive. So parents should really be in high paying jobs to afford that opportunity education for their children. And the other challenge is the effect on the students. Do you have access to the necessary infrastructure, to the books, to the teachers, to finish your curriculum and then progress to the next stage of academia? Because you see, education is supposed to be an enlightening experience. It's supposed to create a great platform for people across various economic status. So whether you are poor, you are rich, you are middle income, every child must have the same access. So the question we should be asking is, what are the ramifications of the discontinuities on the education sector? What are the ramifications of it on students, on parents, and then in the end on the economy and the future of the country that is continuing in in making some of these drastic amendments? I don't know if you want to bring in a question or you want me to continue.
Yeah, Doctor, we have a lot of questions, as you know. Doctor, in your word to us, you emphasize on external influence. Can't we do away with these people?
Yes, we can do away with them, but to do away, for you to go out for a loan, to get a loan from a human being or an institution, it means you are hard pressed.
Yeah.
And for a country to be hard pressed, then it must be really bad. And if you look at Ghana, in the 1970s because of the international global oil crisis, and then it's spiraling effect on our economies. And then the 1980s the same. And you know that in the 1980s we weren't democratic, and we had a series of coup d'etats that hasn't really caused us to be the Ghana that we are now, and to be the delight of many nations in the international system. So we're then pro-communist, pro-Marxist, socialism, and every other ideals that our leaders of the time ran with. And because of that, we didn't have economic assistance as we would want to. So you would see that it was up until when the PNDC administration, led by His Excellence the late Jerry John Rawlings, or President Rawlings, that we started getting assistance. And oftentimes, these assistants have benefits and they have conditionalities. And if you're hard pressed, Benedicta, you are going for a loan from somebody, and the person says, you said, how much do you want? Says, oh, not much, oh, but I want $5,000. And he says, $5,000. Okay. So what can you also do? Because I see that, Benedicta, I think that your cost of spending may be too high. Maybe you are spending too much on your hair, you are spending too much on your dresses. So I want to help you. And I want to help you by giving you these things. So don't buy dresses unless you really need to buy it. So in a year you can buy only 6 dresses. In the past you used to buy maybe 50 dresses. And women. And then in the past maybe you used to go to the salon once a week. Says, okay, I beg you. Now you have to resort to braiding of your hair so that you can go to the salon once in a month. So these are the conditionalities. Where the conditionalities fair, with the benefit of hindsight, it wasn't. It wasn't fair, or it's what the word to use is that domestically we didn't have a robust private sector to take to take the impact of not having the government take care of things. For instance, we didn't have a robust private sector that will now be the engine of growth. And all the people that are being retrenched in the government sector, people who are being redeployed or laid off, they could go there and work. So that was a big problem.
Doctor,
And
if oh sorry, I thought you
no,
were
no, no,
done.
no, no, no worries. Come in.
If that is the case, does it mean that Ghana's politicians are not I don't want to use this word, are not good and wise enough to manage the country, because we've got all resources at our disposal, and still we are going in for this external help into our country? Does it mean that we don't have good leadership skills?
Uh, Benedicta, you are sitting in UK. You ask me these questions, eh?
No, no, doctor, but I was in Ghana before coming, so I know, and I still have family over there. Because
Yes.
the educational system over here is stable, but ours is not
Yes.
stable. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're going in for help for these people, and they want their system to be correct, stable, but they don't want yours to be correct and stable, why don't you help yourself? As a
So
scenario that you just gave,
you
that going in for loan, if I see that the conditionalities are not helping me,
mhm.
I need to work
You have
extra
to
for
find
my help. Yes.
other ways of surviving. Yes.
Yes,
So
because
the
humans are humans. We are so wicked to the extent that if we are ahead of somebody, we want to depress that person. So if you have realized that, oh, first loan, this is the conditionality that they gave. Second loan, the same thing. So why don't we prevent ourselves? We've got natural
so you are
resources.
talking about the loans that we still going for,
Yes,
and the
onto our
unfavorable
educational system.
conditionalities that
Yes,
sometimes it
doctor.
comes with.
Because
Yeah.
it's really affecting students. It's really affecting students. After school is difficult to get job. is very difficult.
Mhm.
So what is the essence of education? I
It's
know education is the transformation of knowledge. So after getting the knowledge and I'm not able to
to get
impart
a
it,
job.
yeah, what is the essence of me
Mhm.
going to school?
Mm. Well, you have a point in there, but what we have to investigate into or discuss, if you may, is not only the going in of the loans. That's just one aspect,
Yeah.
or the conditionality, that some of the things that affected us in the past, and we are still going in for it. So what do we do? But you see, education is not only teaching. You must have other things. So, for instance, you must have the right caliber and commitment of the teaching and research staff. If you do not have them, then you are going to miss it. I haven't said that, that it means you must have the right teacher training colleges, the right teacher training institutions, who also have the right human resource. They also have the right things to be taught, right? Then you must look at the range and quality of the curriculum and pedagogy that they use. What curriculum are they using? How are they teaching? Is it you pass, pass and forget? Is it the kind of learning that does not cause us to be critical, critical analyst? So one plus one is two, but as we taught to question why one plus one is two, so is it the kind of teaching that everybody wants to be employed by the government when we are done with schooling? Or is the kind of teaching that promotes entrepreneurship, the kind of teaching that unearths our potential and abilities, the kind of teaching that leads to self-discovery of what I can do and how I can do it, the kind of teaching that promotes um, ownership, the kind of teaching that promotes patriotism, that you always look out for what can I do for my country? How can I serve my country? Then we have to move on to look at the quality and extent of educational facilities. This also includes the means of accessing traditional as well as worldwide knowledge. So the question is, do we have it in the whole of Africa? Do we have it in Sub-Sahara Africa? Do we have it in Ghana? Because if you don't have one of any of the three or four things that I've made mention, then there is a gap. There is a gaping gap that must be addressed. So if we are looking at education, we must look at it in its entirety. And we must look at then, if we have these things, what kind of human resource are we going to produce? But you see, for even this to work, we must first move on to our national interest. What is the national interest of South Africa? The national interest of Botswana, of Kenya, of Ethiopia, of Cameroon, of Nigeria? Because it is the national interest that must guide the educational sector. And Ghana started right during the era of Kwame Nkrumah. And Ghana started right in the industries that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah put up, so that there will be a bridge between the educational sector and the industry. Because if there is no bridge, such bridge, then we are teaching the things we are teaching, and we are not looking at the things that we are teaching. How will it get our students jobs? How will it give a boost to the informal sector and get our students to start their own businesses? And I think that thankfully, these discussions has changed the narrative. And so many tertiary universities and institutions have come up with courses that will unearth the potential and ability of students. So if you look at even the technical secondary schools or senior high schools, they have also brought in programs so that those who are not necessarily book long, who do not want to advance and become bureaucrats, they can become the technocrats. They can learn masonry, carpentry, dressmaking, fashion design, because these are things that are everyday needs. Every day you need to wear a dress. Every day people are building. So who are we going to turn out? The architects. Do you understand? So there must be a bridge. Yeah, there must be so many bridges that will cause our educational sector to thrive. So now what we need to look at is all the different educational policies that have come, what has been or what have been their intention. I will, taking a liberal stand, say that the intention has been to make better what we have. The intention has been to make progress, albeit faster. So if the progress has have happened over these years, how effective have they been? If they haven't, then what we need to look at is how to identify the challenges and to address them, and to address them not by not putting square pegs in round holes. We have to address them with our eyes clearly open, that this is the mess we have made. We have to address them in this manner. And you see, aside the national interest, we have to look at the global interest. Where is the world going to? What is the focus of the world? What are other countries doing and why are they doing it? How can we make, because you see, under in this era of globalization, the world is moving quite fast,
Yeah.
so fast. So you need to look at what leading international and universities are doing. What programs are they coming up with, and why are they coming up with? For instance, the artificial intelligence programs. Why are they coming up with them, and why are they coming up with them so fast? Because the leading powerful countries have realized the future in there. That for me to be a strong nation, for me to have a vibrant economy, I must invest huge amount of money, infrastructure, what do you call it, human resource into artificial intelligence, or into, for lack of a better word, into the internet, because that is where the future is. And to do this, I must have the right curriculum. I must have the right pedagogy. I must have the right infrastructure. So right from crèche, every school has internet service, whether in the rural areas or in the urban areas, they have internet service. Now the teachers equally know how to use internet. Teachers must know how to use the internet.
Doctor, why are you laughing?
Because that some people call themselves born before computer. That they are born before computer.
Yeah.
And and because they are born before computer, some struggle. And it's an honest struggle, because even for those who young people like us, we still struggle. There's so much knowledge now,
Yeah.
so many things happening. When did that want to come? When did it start? I don't know how to use it. But what I see the world going to is that we have to be more open-minded.
Yeah.
As students, as lecturers, as parents, we have to be more open-minded to the new thinking, to the new modes of learning, and adapt. And we have to adapt fast. But Corona has brought in so many things that everybody has
Our
to
good
adapt.
friend.
Yes, our good friend Corona. Corona has brought so many things. I'm teaching, and sometimes I'm teaching either from the office or from my home, and my students are all over.
Yeah.
Some are in their offices, some are in their cars, some are home, some are in their kitchen, because when you get home and you're a parent, your child still wants food. Sometimes you are teaching and you are hearing saucepans going boom, 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 boom. So then we'll be teasing them. Who is cooking? You just mute yourself. That is where we are. It is where we are. So what we can do is to not look at the past, well, rather learn from the past and make the most of it in the present for our future, for our future, really.
Doctor, if that is the case, does it mean that Ghanaian ministers and leaders do not think about the future of the country based
Well,
on your scenario and explanation you've given to us?
I'm sure they do. I'm
How?
sure they do,
Because
and not
they
only
are not
Ghana,
investing
but
into the
other.
educational system.
Oh well,
And my
there's
worry is that why don't they adapt this discontinuity into the political system? Politics, as I know from childbirth, has been 4 years since 19th. Why don't they change that system, but rather education system that they always change?
yeah, I don't get that question properly. For instance, everybody should come every 4 years and go, or
No, I mean that, 4 years of this electoral system has been in the system for a longer time. Why don't they change the system to 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, as they
oh,
are
okay.
doing it into the educational system? Does it mean
Ah,
that they don't think about the children? They don't think about
I'm
the
sure they
future?
do. I'm sure they do.
Doctor, how? If they are doing how? What is the proof? Because this political party comes and, well, personally, I didn't know the essence of changing the secondary school to senior high school. What was the essence of it?
Yes, because it's the same thing, right?
Yes.
Because it's the
What
same
is the
three
essence of
years.
it?
It's the same
Is
thing,
it is it because they want to prove that, oh, it was during this political party system that was when we changed the system?
ah,
Is that what our politicians are
that
interested in?
that question I cannot answer. You have to
Yeah,
call
I know. I
the
think
former
yeah,
ministers,
we should have
the current
invited
one.
uh, MP onto this platform because they will be the right people to answer our question.
Not only the MPs, the
There are a
MPs
lot
may
of
not even be the
mistakes.
right people, but the those in the educational sector who
Doctor,
take the
there are a lot of
decision.
mistakes. There are a lot of mistakes in our educational system.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Politics is reigning all over. They are not thinking about the children. They are not thinking about the parents. I went for 4 years, but even with the 4 years, doctor,
You didn't finish.
yes, we didn't finish. We were rushing through, especially getting closer to the WASI time.
Mm,
It's only dependent on the serious student to survive. And that is the reason why there are a lot of student cheating
mm,
in the exams room. Because
mm,
the duration is not enough for them. So the best thing is to rob and get what I want. And when I get what I want, I'm not able to implement. Because even at the university level, there are a lot of people who were struggling there. Why? Because they didn't write their exam in the due time. So
mm.
it seems, doctor, there has been a problem from the secondary school through the university time.
There is, and you can even start from the primary, pre-primary, and primary. I mean, if you are fortunate and your parents are well off, you may have access to a good school. But what about if you are not?
That's the
Those in the
question.
rural communities.
That's the question. And our country is made up of poor people more than the rich people.
Mhm.
So does it mean that the educational system is favoring the rich people alone, doctor?
Well, it does favor people who have the ability to access the best of educational possibilities for their children. It does. I mean,
And who are these people? Is it not the rich people?
not necessarily.
Doctor, it's very difficult for a poor parent
No,
to get this
I said not
access.
necessarily because I was also thinking of the middle income
Yeah,
families who are
because
doing their best for
at
their
this time,
children.
parent, yeah, due to our friend Koro, a lot of parents are struggling. A
Mhm.
lot of people are struggling all over the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, people have
So
lost
if
their jobs.
yes, doctor,
Their
if
hours have been cut.
yes, If this is the problem, does it mean that the government is depriving people from this right? Because I
So,
know that everybody has the right to education, whether formal
mm,
or informal. But
mm.
all this will based on how the government will govern the country.
So I see governments and many African governments in the sub of the Sahara that they are aware of these
Yeah,
inequalities. That
they
is
are.
why, for instance, the free compulsory primary education was implemented. Thus, from the primary level up to junior high, you have access to education. You can go to school, and then you have access to retention. So you stay in school and then you complete. But then they saw a gap between that level. So people are done with junior high, sometimes even up to only class 6, and they are unable to continue. So what do you do? That is what I see the National Patriotic Party trying to close that gap with a free senior high education. So the free high school education, it's also to create the same opportunities for them. But you see, it's good. It's good that it has created it. But now we have to look at the efficiency and the effectiveness.
Yeah.
That is what we have to look at now. So if Ghana has now, we can go to school free at the primary level, free at the high school level. What are the caliber of teachers that we do have? Do they need to go undergo retraining? Do they need to undergo retooling? What tools do they need? Currently, in fact, there is another kind of policy where we are waiting for school has begun where we are waiting for the books for the Ministry of Education. And well, this week I heard that the books are in. And so the books are meant to help students adapt to the new changes that have been made in policy. Because, and what I see is, so for instance, instead of just writing the exam at the JSS 3, you write it at when you are class 6 to get you into the junior high school. And then when you get there to you write the last one. It's more to do with the continuous assessment. So that don't assess students based on final exam only, which is a good thing. So assess them based on continuous assessment. And we are doing same at the tertiary level, especially under Corona, that we are giving students more assignments to get them to read more, to get them to engage the literature more critical thinking, more group work, because then when you do more group work, it helps you to even sharpens your interpersonal skills and relations with others, and then do more individual assignment also. Then the percentage for the final score or exam is less. So yes, it's good, but how we do it. So that is where we need to focus on. How
And
we are doing human
does it
resource.
mean that our leaders don't plan? They don't have accurate plans towards our educational system.
Oh, they do. They do.
Dr.
See,
How? Because
try Googling.
it's like, well, I've seen you with this earring. If I don't adjust myself and ask myself question, Ben, do I have the financial access to buy this earring? Do I do this? Do I do this? And since I have in mind that, oh, I'm competing with you, whatever I see on you, I must make sure to get it. It seems our politicians are in that stream.
Maybe sometimes it's the speed with which they do things. Sometimes, as a parent and as a scholar, I would that our policymakers would put in more thinking and put in more work in the new policies and strategies that they bring in. And they also have more stakeholder engagement with parents, with teachers, with children, that this is the way we want to go because of our national interest of of having a much more robust human resource that is not technologically challenged, that is there, that is, what do you think? How should things be done? But sometimes you hear of it and it's being implemented. You hear of it and 6 months down the line it's being implemented, or a year down the line. And for instance, the free SHS in Ghana has gone through lots of challenges.
Yeah.
That is why I came up with a double track, and now we've gone back to one track. So the double track, I think, is for only second year students or so. So, and we as parents get confused. Your children are not in the system. You get confused, wonder who is going and who is not,
Yeah.
and the like.
Just
But
recently,
I,
I just asked my brother that
mm,
when are you completing school? As because everybody is confused.
mm.
Everybody.
So what is key? Oh, what was I going to say? But what I see the current MPP administration trying to do is that they are trying to address the challenges as they come. Maybe that is why they have now opted to go for one stream, because maybe under Corona we don't have to have too many students in
Yeah.
school at the same time. So we do see some proactiveness in
Okay.
trying to amend our ways when things are not going right. But as you know, we still
Yeah.
have a long way to go.
Yeah. So when can we put end to this? Because
By critically
everybody,
thinking,
nobody is perfect. Yes, I know nobody is perfect. Even these foreign people have their own challenges. But it seems our leaders relax for the problems to overwhelm us before they act. Even acting, they don't act it to the end of solving a problem. They all do things in a political system.
so our problem solving approaches and
Yes,
strategies are politically inclined more than national interest inclined. That's what you're trying to say.
yeah, that is my observation.
Mm.
But
Then
since
we
you're
will
a
have to
doctor,
change.
we need confirmation from you and how to end this. Yes.
So, so if our national interest, if there is any, um, it's not a par. The interest is not a par with our educational sector interest and goals. Then we must bridge it. We must bridge it. The executive will have to sit down with the Ministry of Education. They have to and tell them that this is where we want to go, but we are not seeing it. Because you see that Rwanda is doing it, right? Rwanda is doing it. So they have put in place the necessary project, and is an ongoing process. You see other countries such as India deliberately doing it, producing ICT. They said, oh, our people are good. We have the human resource. We have millions of people. So now we've invested into ICT, and now we are sending them to countries to work in. You see Chinese do same with artificial intelligence. Even Cubans do same with their medical sector. So we must look at areas where we have either an absolute advantage, a comparative advantage, or a competitive advantage, and then invest right and get people to help them for these industries to grow. I think Ghana even has a competitive advantage in the informal sector. Our clothes are beautiful,
Yeah.
so we could invest more in the polytechnic. Now we have even transformed polytechnics to polytechnic universities. But because we need a technocrats,
Yeah.
not everybody can be a teacher. So
Yeah.
those who can be in the informal sector, who are they, and how can we help them? Give them the right platform, right tools, right education, right investment opportunities. Well, something is happening with the national NBSSI, the National Board for Small Scale Industries. They get money. They are giving people are given some financial help and training to start jobs. And people say, well, I've had good reports that people get the money and it's helping them. But sometimes people complain that maybe it's whom you know or
Yeah.
mhm. So there is a level of nepotism there, or,
Doctor,
or,
doctor.
or patron. So you need to know whom you know and all.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be so. If we are Ghanaians, if we should have the same rights and same privileges because we have the same responsibilities. And if we are Ghanaians, we should have the same enabling environment opportunities. Because you see, when we grow our businesses, our families grow, our society grow, the economies grow. It wouldn't be NPP growing or NDC growing or CPP growing. It is Ghana growing, Ghana exporting, importing the right things that would enable us to put it into our economies for our domestic economies to grow.
Doctor, we've analyzed a lot of solution to this problem, but what is the best solution to end this problem we are discussing?
The best solution. I have so many ideas that I look at. I said should be the best solution. So that what every African country must do is to have the right policy and the right educational policies that have the future in mind. Because we are not dealing with the present, but with also the future. What are our policies? What are our interests? Where do we as a country want to be in 10 years' time? Where do we want to be in 20 years' time? This is what the Chinese have done, and it's paying off for them. So, aside this, if we know what our interests are and where we want to get into, it will lead us in formulating and implementing the right policies and strategies. That will intentionally cause us to invest academically, monetarily, and morally in the right caliber of teachers and research staff who are committed to the state policies and to the development of the state. Then we must intentionally also invest in the right range and quality of the curriculum and the pedagogy, how we teach. Okay. Then we can move on further to invest in the right quality of infrastructural facilities.
Okay.
We should also appreciate and nurture local knowledge content. Not everything should be Western based, but we have great things going on for us locally. We should look at it and invest into the local content also. Then what I earlier on talked about, there should be a good bridge, a good intentional bridge between academia and the industry. We can get this through by industry feeding into the academia. That look, this is where what we are doing. So these are the courses we need to run to help give students the necessary knowledge and skills. Then we should have vacation internship. The students shouldn't just stay at home. I know some universities do it in Ghana. So they should have the right vacation internship, right scholarship. The government should give the right scholarship. If government think that we need, for instance, Ghana does well in how we engage in the conflict resolution initiatives. So then every year we should train 20 people or 50 people in conflict mediation, prevention, negotiation. Fantastic. Ghana wants Ghana needs more international lawyers because when we had the international dispute, we had to go and get the services of international lawyers. Oh, so then every year, let's train 10 people who deal with have knowledge acquisition, international disputes of seas, or international waters, international this. We have to be at the WTO, the World Trade Organization. We need people who are on top of international trade. So let's train 50 people every year in international trade negotiation. This is where I'm going to. We should have the right trainings for people. It will help us. Then we should consciously also raise the relevant human resource through the developed category. So if Ghana says that the agriculture is the bedrock of Ghana, how many people have education in agricultural studies? How many people do we have as extension officers? How many people, because agriculture is big now. We have the fisheries, we have this. People are into fish farming. How many people do we have them training, in various things that we have that other countries don't have, so that we can be a hegemon in there. And now internet service must be available everywhere. That would help in having access to worldwide knowledge. Then there is something I've been thinking of. We should make language policies important too. And this will make the studying of essential foreign languages compulsory, at least to senior high school level. And not just studying the thing to write exam, but to speak it.
Doctor,
To speak
this
it. But
reminds me, yeah,
and you
it's
studied French,
true.
you cannot speak it. You
It's true.
cannot speak it.
I read French to university time, but I
Uh,
just did it for study's sake.
uh-huh. We should be taught to be fluent. It's not just to write, it should be oral and written. And what every country can do is that strategically, I'm surrounded by francophone countries, for instance, Ghana. So everyone should be able to speak French. Then those in Central Africa, most of them are francophones. They should also make a policy that at the secondary level, everybody should be able to speak, to read and write read, write, and speak English, so we can be able to engage our neighbors in trade, so we can engage them at the UN. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you see that in North Africa, they can speak Arabic, right? But they can also, most of them can also speak French. Well, it could be as a result of colonial legacies, but it's to their benefit. So you meet not Africans, they can speak Arabic, they can speak French, they can speak English. They have an advantage over us. They do have an advantage over us. So this should consciously be done. Then I'll look at implementation itself. How do we implement the policies? You can't go and bring new textbooks. Will the textbooks teach themselves? No. Before the textbooks come, teachers should have undergone many trainings, and they are comfortable with the textbooks and how they ought to teach it. There should be monitoring and evaluation of infrastructure, of teacher, of you, of the teachers, of the books and all that. And this will increase the sector's ability to thrive and to flourish. And as citizens and as students and even the state must be willing to adapt to changing trends. The changing trends come with challenges. So now internet is here. Hey, internet is here. Oh, yeah, we don't have Wi-Fi in our schools. We have identified the challenge. We must be able to address it and then identify the opportunities that these challenges would come, that these challenges will bring. Because internet service is not a challenge anymore. It has lots of opportunities. So we as a country must identify the opportunities and create inroads, make inroads that will benefit us in the long term and preserve our future in the international system.
Doctor, thank you so much for this direction. I've learned a lot from today's discussion, and we hope to get our politicians on track to put our educational system. Well, yeah, doctor, because a lot of people are not progressing in life because of this issue.
But Benedict, it shouldn't just be politicians. So there are others
Doctor,
who work in
politicians
their
are the
side
head.
processes. Yes,
They are
but
the
we
head,
also
so we
have the
have to
policy
attack the
makers.
strong man. When attacking the strong man will attack the young man or the
What
weak
I'm
man.
saying is there are different strong men.
Okay,
They are
but
different
this is
strong
the
men.
major
So we
strong
have
man.
we have the members of parliament
Yeah,
who sometimes pass things into law. But when it comes to policies, it's not the MPs.
I know.
They are the bureaucrats and the technocrats at the
But doctor, they are the
ministerial
mediators for
level.
us. They are mediators between the citizens and these people. So if we are attacking them, they'll give the feedback to them. So we have to attack them.
I see.
We have to attack them, doctor. It's like me wanting to have a program with your husband. I cannot directly come to him by myself. I have to pass through you for you to speak to him. So politicians need to be attacked. We need to attack them.
Mhm.
We need to attack them. Doctor, thank you so much for this
Thank
time
you,
you always have
Benedicta.
for us and have had for us this time. We really appreciate your time so
Thank you
much.
too. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Doctor. We will surely come back to you on these political issues.
Yes, ma.
Bye, Doctor.
Bye for now.
Hi, everyone. This is the end of today's program. What is your lesson from this issue? Do what to prompt us because our focus is to make our educational system, our political system, a stable one. We cannot do it by ourselves. Do help us, especially if you are in the African countries. Just prompt me and let's come together to help solve our problems. I love you so much. Do what to share this program in order to spread our message across. Take care.